In the month of December in the city of Fond du Lac, 31 single-family homes sold. That is pretty similar to how many sold in the summer months as well as last month. But if we look back at 2022, 31 homes selling in a month is still very low. And in fact, it is lower than almost every single month in the year of 2022. In December, 74% of the homes that sold under that 300K mark. When we take a look at 2023, we see that this distribution where houses sold under 300K or over 300K, it was in the 70-something percentage of selling under 300K about half the time, or 6 months out of the year. If we look at 2022, it was only that low 2 months out of 2022 compared to 6 months out of 2023. So what it's showing you is this trend from 2022 to 2023, that there is a larger distribution of houses that are selling above that 300K mark. Most of the time in 2022, it was in the 80s and 90s for percentage that were selling under that 300K mark. And a lot more in 2023, we saw that percentage be in the 70s. Median home price for December was 200K. Last month, it was 220K, so it's down. But this is the 6th time or half of the year that the median home price has been 200K or above. Just to again look back at 2022, the median home price was only 200K one time. So one time in 2022, and in 2023, 6 months or half of the year, it was 200K or above for median home price. In December, 51% of the houses that sold at or above asking price. This is similar to what we saw in April of 2023. However, the rest of 2023 was higher than that, with more houses selling at or above asking price than that 51%, other than January. Also, if we take a look back at 2022, I started tracking this stat in April of 2022. We were always above that 51% from April to December of 2022. So it's only been a few times since April of 2022 that we have seen it this low, this 50-ish percent mark. I also want to break down for you when I say 16 of 31 sold at or above. It's actually pretty even distribution between the at and above. It's 8 and 8. I also wanted to talk about how much our house is actually selling over asking price. So in summertime, even early fall, it was pretty common to be seeing this 20 to 30K over. You might have to go 30K over to get the house. And I know that felt really tough and ridiculous for a lot of people, but it was happening. Now I'd say 5 to 10 over is more common. 15 over is still happening, but that's more of the high point we're seeing. So just wanted to help you see like how much over when we're saying above asking, what is the norm? So again, 5 to 15 versus maybe that 20 to 30 that had become pretty normal for a period of time. Less homes took price reductions this month in December versus last month in November. So 37% took price reductions in November of the houses that sold, and in December it was 22%. This is pretty similar to what we saw in March of 2023 and also the end of 2022. Of these houses that sold in December, how quickly did they accept offers? If you look on my screen here, I've got 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And I just want to stop and make a comment that as long as you are seeing me put this in weeks, 1, 2, 3 weeks, versus putting it in 1, 2, 3, 4 months, we are in a seller's market and we are still in a pretty hot market if I am breaking it down by weeks versus months. But let's talk more about it. So you can see that just under half of the houses sold in about that week's time. And then really almost all of the houses sold in about a month and a half, or got that accepted offer in about a month and a half. The two that didn't, that are on here for a pretty long time, one of them is a new build, a new construction. So I'd say sometimes what can happen is those can hit the market and they're still getting finished up. And sometimes people aren't as eager to pull the trigger until they can completely envision it. So sometimes those are on the market longer. And that's where that 3.5 months came from. The one that was on the market for 9.5 months, that was something that was priced pretty high in the upper 500s. And it actually sold for over 100K less than it was listed for. So that is the story of the two that were on the market for a while, but then the rest of them sold within a month and a half. Median days on market stayed the same from last month to this month, being 45, and this is similar to February and March of 2023. How many houses are currently under contract as I pulled the data today? Well, that is 30. And the thing is, that is pretty similar to December of 2022 and January of 2023. But it is very down from a month ago when I pulled data. So a month ago when I pulled data, there was 49 properties under contract, and now it's 30. And so that's like a 60% decrease. But if we look back a year ago, it is very similar to that time and can feel like that seasonal slowdown of just less houses. When I pulled the data today, there were 29 single family homes that were completely available, no offers on them in the city of Fond du Lac. This is pretty similar to the amount of available inventory as when I pulled it last month. Also, what's interesting is it is the exact same number, 29, as when I would have been doing my December 22 market update, and now I'm doing my December 23 market update. So it's really actually that pull in the beginning of January to see how much active inventory there is available. So it's just interesting to know that it's the same amount of inventory that's available today as it was a year ago. This was a recap and market update for December of 2023, but I will be doing another video pretty soon here to be helping you look back at 2023 as a whole and see the trends throughout that entire year. And, you know, I've given you median home price throughout the whole year. If I end up averaging those out, what did it come out to? And just taking a look at all of those stats from 2023 as a whole together versus broken down individually in the months that I have. We'll also look ahead to 2024 and talk about what to expect, what the experts out there are predicting, and what we're already seeing here as we've kicked off January. So I will talk to you soon, and I hope that you come back and watch that video in the days to come.